Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jason Harper, and I'm part of the Wyoming Department of Education and Communications team. It is my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Megan Degenfelder.
Well, thank you, Jason, and thank you to everyone who's here in the room and who is online joining us today for the exciting launch of Wyoming Patriot School program. There is no better time than the month of April to announce the launch of this program, being that April is the month of the military child. And so we are thrilled to be here today and in the month of April. While our role in public education is to prepare students with the skills needed to be successful in the workforce, it is just as important that we prepare our next generation to be good American citizens by instilling in them a sense of patriotic appreciation for our system of government and a sense of obligation to participate, to sacrifice for the future of democracy. Wyoming students should graduate knowing how the government system works and why government matters. Every student deserves to understand the principles that make this country great. But in too many places around the country, students are being taught to focus on what's wrong with America. That's why, here in Wyoming, we're doing it differently. Civic education should be one of the few things that can still bring us together, and patriotism shouldn't be political. It's a foundational value that belongs in every classroom in Wyoming. Because if we don't teach our kids why America is exceptional, we can't be surprised when they stop believing that it is. In Wyoming, our kids will grow up with a love for America. When I ran for office 4 years ago, I was committed to bringing patriotism and civics education to the classroom, making it one of our 6 key initiative areas in the Department of Education's strategic plan. We've been executing every step of the way, beginning with the launch of Purple Star schools in Wyoming to honor our military family and children, the launch of the civics education portal that created resources aligned to standards for our teachers, our partnership with the Museum of Military Vehicles in Du Bois, as well as our work with the Capitol Wayfinding Committee to open up the Civics Lab in the Capitol. We also hosted our first statewide teacher conference with the theme of America 250, and now with today's official launch of the Wyoming Patriot School program. Social studies and civics education is one content area that, while we maintain state standards, is not tested on the state level. We have no real measure of fidelity at the state level, nor do we have a great way to recognize those schools where the good work is being done. This program is meant to recognize those schools that are already doing exceptional work when it comes to civics education, and to encourage other schools to do the same. The program aligns not only to the patriotism initiative at the Department of Education, but also to Wyoming's America 250 Task Force work. Schools can now begin collecting their evidence for their work across 4 key categories, with the submission window being August to September and final recognitions being the week of Veterans Day. The 4 category areas are as follows. Number 1, civic education and knowledge, robust instruction on the foundations of American democracy. 2, ceremonial and symbolic elements, observance of patriotic traditions and symbols. 3rd, community engagement and service, active student participation in local civic and veteran community efforts. And finally, professional development and teacher support, ensuring that our educators have the resources they need to teach civics effectively. Schools that meet 8 to 13 of the criteria will be designated as a Wyoming Patriot School, and those that meet all 13 criteria will be designated as a distinguished Wyoming Patriot School. While the criteria suggest possible examples to be met, the program was designed for maximum flexibility for our schools so that they can address the categories in the ways that make sense to them. This new program was also designed to align well to the Wyoming Purple Star program, which again recognizes K-12 schools that demonstrate a commitment to supporting our military-connected students and families. Now, I want to take a moment to thank our incredible Citizen Stakeholder Committee, When we began our efforts on the Department of Education strategic plan, we brought together stakeholders from across the state to work on these areas, and citizenship is one of those. The Citizen Stakeholder Committee includes Rindy West, Leah Kurtzinger, Dan Starks, Jean Garrison, Bill Lampert, Tom Grogan, Andy Panel, Becca Steinhoff, Ashley Bright, and Karen Kemmer. And I want to specifically thank those who serve now not only on that stakeholder committee, but as well as Wyoming's Semi-Quincentennial Task Force and the Education Subcommittee, and that is Senator Wendy Schuler and Paul Flesher. I also want to thank the members of the Department of Education team who worked so hard to put this program together. First and foremost is Jennifer Wilmarth, who really created the draft of this program to bring to our stakeholder committee. Thank you, Jennifer, as well as Linda Finnerty and Nathan Tajeski. I now want to take a moment to introduce Justin Woltz, who is the Pinedale Middle School principal. Pinedale Middle School will be the first stop on this year's educational tour of excellence that will take place next week. Mr. Woltz.
Good afternoon. My name is Justin Woltz. I'm the principal at Pinedale Middle School. It's an honor to share with the state superintendent, staff, and fellow administrators from across Wyoming an initiative that has had a meaningful impact on our students and our community, our local Legends Assemblies. We are proud to be recognized next week by Superintendent Degenfelder as one of the first stops on her tour of excellence. Last year, we began hosting these assemblies as a way to recognize and celebrate the veterans and service members who live right here in our community. These are individuals our students may see every day, but may not fully understand or appreciate the depth of their experiences. Through the local Legends Assemblies, we invite these individuals into our school to share their stories directly with students. They talk about their paths into service, their careers in the military, law enforcement, and public service, and the lessons they've learned along the way. These firsthand accounts bring history and civic responsibility to life in a way that is both authentic and impactful. For our students, the benefits have been significant. They gain a deeper understanding of service, sacrifice, and leadership. They begin to see real-world examples of resilience and commitment. Just as importantly, they develop a stronger sense of respect and appreciation for those who serve both our country and our communities. These assemblies also create powerful connections. Students start to see these individuals not just as titles, but as people with stories, challenges, and values they can relate to and learn from. The impact extends beyond our students. For the veterans and service members who participate, this is an opportunity to reflect and share their experiences in a meaningful way. It provides a sense of purpose, allowing them to know their stories are helping educate and inspire the next generation. It also offers recognition. Many of these individuals don't often speak about their service, and this gives them a space where they feel valued and heard. Additionally, these assemblies strengthen community ties. They help bridge generational gaps and foster relationships between our students and local leaders. In some cases, those connections continue beyond the assembly through ongoing conversations and mentorship. So far, we've had the privilege of hosting a wide variety of speakers, including a former sheriff, a Holocaust survivor, and veterans from the Korean War, Vietnam War, and more recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Each speaker brings a unique perspective, and each leaves a lasting impression on our students. In addition to these assemblies, our district also hosts an annual Veterans Day Assembly, and to ensure each student can participate, we hold 3 different sessions, allowing us to collectively honor our veterans in a meaningful and inclusive way. Our goal in all of this is simple: to build a culture of respect, patriotism, and community pride at Pinedale Middle School and in Pinedale. We want our students to understand the value of service, to appreciate the freedoms they have, and to recognize the individuals who have helped protect those freedoms. The local Legends Assemblies have become more than just an event. They are a vital part of how we connect learning to real life and strengthen the culture of our school and community. Thank you for your time and for the work each of you do to support students across the Wyoming, and the great honor we have of you coming to visit us next week and this great program you guys are creating. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Waltz. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing Superintendent Lisa Weigel of Platte County School District Number 2. Superintendent Weigel has worked extremely hard to ensure that her school district has received the Purple Star designation. And so no better district to speak on behalf of this upcoming program than Superintendent Weigel.
Thank you, Superintendent Degenfelder, and thank you, WDE staff. It's an honor to be here as we launch a new and exciting, innovative program for our students. It makes really good sense for our community and our district to be part of the Patriot Schools launch. We did recently receive the Purple Star recognition, and much of the work that we did to receive that recognition aligns nicely to the Patriot launch. We, Camp Guernsey and veterans of foreign war are a part of our school community each and every day. They come in, and our staff is truly committed to integrating civic education and real life applications that promote leadership, character, service, and giving back in our communities. So we're super excited about this. We're hopeful that maybe we, even with a little more work, meet the distinguished school recognition. We'll see what that looks like. I love traveling through our schools, and it doesn't matter where it happens, but we have a student announcer that does the Pledge of Allegiance every day, and even our little kindergartners will stop dead in their tracks and recite that Pledge of Allegiance. And I think that's truly special. And we're hopeful that when our students leave us, they go back to communities with a strong understanding of civics education and how to give back and how to lead, not just in their community, but in our entire state. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Superintendent. I'm now pleased to introduce Andy Panel, who is with the UW College of Education the UW College of Education Civic Education Program Manager. That's even more of a mouthful than my title. Andy has also served for several years on the Citizen Stakeholder Cabinet, and so we're so grateful for his continued partnership as our institutions work together to further civics education. Andy.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Superintendent Degenfelder, and all the folks from WDE. My name is Andy Panel. I wanted to just talk to you a little bit today. Not only do I work for the College of Education, I work really closely with the nonpartisan Center for Civic Education to coordinate what's known as the We the People and Project Citizen programs. There's just under 30 schools currently in Wyoming who take part in one of these high-quality, inquiry-based experiential programs. And it's our hope that through WDE's Patriot Schools program that we can continue to increase the number in our mutual effort to provide more and better civic education for the citizens of Wyoming. Thomas Paine, back in January of 1776, wrote in Common Sense that the cause of America is in a great measure the cause of all mankind. The American experiment at its core is about individual human flourishing and the protection of people's natural rights. But it's also about providing for the common good, which requires self-sacrifice and principled leadership. The fact that we as Americans get to work this all out for ourselves, as messy and inefficient as it sometimes gets, is an incredible blessing. We are citizens, not subjects, and students deserve the chance to learn these enduring truths for themselves. It's been my experience that once students have had the chance to join the American conversation with a thorough understanding of the Constitution and a sense for how public policy gets made, they are much more likely to vote, engage in public dialogue, and develop into informed patriots who can hopefully move our country forward in an enlightened way. The WDE understands this. They've been very willing to engage in thoughtful dialogue, and I especially appreciate their inclusion in the criteria of the adoption of a civic ed curriculum and participatory budgeting for student government and things like, upping the amount of teacher professional development. In fact, we're excited to announce that for the first time, elementary teachers and special educators who attend this summer's Civic Literacy Institute, being held on the campus at UW July 14th through the 17th, can actually get paid to earn a micro-credential in civics, as well as develop a deeper understanding of the role that disciplinary literacy plays in both teaching civics and helping students become better readers, writers, listeners, speakers, and critical thinkers. It was James Madison, architect of the U.S. Constitution, who said, "A people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power that knowledge gives." Public schools were invented to produce informed citizens who could take part in self-governance. I look forward to continuing the institutional work necessary to fulfill the civic mission of public schools and make sure that all kids in Wyoming have access to high-quality civic education. Thank you.
All right, we're ready for questions from media. We'll start here in the room. Does anybody in the room have any questions? It doesn't look like we have any questions from the room. Let's open it online. Any questions from the online audience? Allison, you can go ahead and speak, and just make sure you say your name and your news organization.
Hi, I'm Allison Alsop with the Casper Star Tribune. This might be more of a technical-ish question, but I was looking at the guidebook and I counted 14 criteria, not 13. So I guess my question is if all of those listed are the 13 criteria or if one was accidentally there or what?
Thanks, Allison. I'm getting head shakes that they're confirming 13, but we're pulling it up now. So we'll make sure of that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from folks online? All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining online. We sure appreciate it. And we look forward to schools getting involved with the Patriot Schools program and being able to recognize those schools that are doing exceptional work in this area. Thank you for being with us.